Hello people, what is going on? Welcome back to the channel. This is Sorin and today I'm going to show you 9 upcoming vehicles in World of Tanks 2024. Those vehicles have final characteristics and they're already in the game, so we can actually see their 3D view and their statistics, and I think all of them are final. Some of them might be changed, how I don't know, but here they are. They are actually 2 tier 10s. By the looks of it, they are not going to be onslaught rewards or anything special, probably clan wars rewards or assembly shop rewards. First of all, being the object for 452K. This one looks a bit like the option 780 because it's very flat, and it does have kind of a big visible lower plate, yet the upper plate seems to be very angled and the vehicle seems to be very long, which it kind of be a bit interesting, yet it does have 560 alpha damage, 260 pen, and by the looks of it, its premium penetration is going to be 220, which, if you ask me, that's actually not bad. The DPM is decent at 2504 heavy tanks, 7 degrees of gun pressure, 2400 hit points, and the armor doesn't seem to have a big enough cupola. The mantle should be very strong. And boy, this thing is gonna be very effective against AP, PCRs, and some hit as well, because the armor looks very sloped, especially on the turret. And the turret, it's only 130, but because it's this slope, means whenever you play cooldown, you're gonna have a really good turret armor. Is it an assault heavy tank? Okay, so you're gonna have, I actually don't know what you have for assault heavy tanks, and it is also, by the looks of it, doesn't say if it's premium or anything, but you have 35 kilometer an hour top speed with 13.4, actually 30.6, so you could probably use a turbocharger on it. I'm not really sure about the gun handling about this, but considering it's a Russian one, who knows, you can probably be like snap, shoot on the move, but the tank itself looks very cool. Another cool vehicle is gonna be the tier 10, by the looks of it, it's Chinese rocket boosted heavy tank. This is a tier 10, which by the same with the BZ-72-1, with a tier 9, actually forget its name, it's from the token store. You have actually two visible cupolas, those ones are kind of small if you ask me. Yet once again you have 560 alpha damage to 60 with 320 penetration, so pretty much you have the same gun penetration, but I think the rounds are gonna be different. But on this one you have way worse DPM and way worse, by the looks of it, dispersion, but you have 1 degree extra of gun depression, which is good. You have less hit points, you have better flat armor, if you ask me. 350 on the cheek should be kind of good enough, but obviously you have the cupola, so those are gonna be a bit rough, like unlike on the other vehicle, the 752K or whatever it was. This one actually looks to have some weak points, which are kind of visible. And on top of that, you have 155 on your upper hull, which looks very angled, so it's going to be pretty much an auto ricochet. But yeah, those things are going to be once again cooldown meta vehicles. In terms of the mobility, you have 30 top speed and 45 in rocket launcher. You have, it looks of it, 5 rockets with 10 seconds each duration, and your power to ratio goes from 16.67 to 41, which is insane. And you can, on top of that, you can stack it up with a turbocharger as well. So boy, this thing is gonna be, it's gonna be probably better than the. Actually, no, it's not gonna make it ready, so it's not gonna be better than the BZ 176. But let me know what do you think about this guy, because obviously it's gonna be fast with whenever you use the rocket, so you can get into position quicker. But yeah, next, dropping down to the tier 9, it is the K92. K91 2. This vehicle was actually sold, well, not really sold on European server, but sold in the Chinese auctions for, I don't know, 20,000 bonds, was it? Something like that. I made a video about it some long ago, but I cannot cannot remember when I made this, so I cannot find the video, but the video is on YouTube. But what can I say? It's like a K91, but obviously you have cupolas, you are having middle turreted tank, you have no armor on your hull. Actually, you have 110, but that's not really enough to bounce anything. You have DPM 300 alpha damage. That's kind of low for a tier 9 medium. Actually, that's actually very average because the K91 PT, actually it's a tank. This run has 390, so it's fine. 1500 hit points. Some turret armor to 20, but once again, you have to take a look at the model to see how the cupolas are looking like. And this vehicle is already like in the game because, as I mentioned, you could get it in the Asia server for 20,000 bonds, bidding for it or something like that. But the vehicle is very mobile with 19 power to weight ratio and 55 km an hour top speed. I don't really know about anything about gun handling or hidden ground resistances, so I'll have to make a video about each of them with TankGG as well to look at their armor layout and stuff like that. But moving on towards the object 590. So this is going to be the first autoloader medium tank from Russia, which probably is going to be the same as an object 752, because that's the first autoloader heavy. This is going to be the first auto. Actually, no, it's actually going to be an auto reloader. Sorry for my bad. Medium tank, which by the looks of it is going to take, I think it's going to be 8 seconds for the first shell, 14.7 for the second shell, and 18.6 for the last shell, or something like that. I don't think it's inverse autoloader, but obviously once I'm going to make the video about it in that, I'm going to be more clear. But oh boy, 5 degrees gun depression, 3 seconds aiming time, and 0.41 dispersion. Accuracy, I mean? Yeah, this thing is not gonna be really good of a sniper. You should play it in the front line. 225 pen and 268 for a tier 9. Yeah, that's not gonna be really enough to fight tanks at close range, or actually cannot really snipe as well. So 110 on the hull, that's fairly decent because you have the same on a T54, I think, and you actually can make, I can make the T54 armor work. So whenever you side scrape or this, you actually don't feel the lack of armor, but 200 on the turret should be fine enough. And on top of that, you have some small-ish cupolas. So on the top of that, the vehicle looks very small profile and nimble. And talking about its mobility, it's actually in terms of the hit points, you have 1800. That's pretty much the same as you do on a tank destroyer or a heavy tank, like a smaller heavy tank. That's a lot of hit points if you ask me. Next, about the mobility, 17.5 power to ratio, that's very nice, and 52 km an hour top speed, but once again, I don't know about the ground resistance yet. The vehicle looks fairly balanced in terms of the DPM and gun, in terms of like accuracy, aiming time, and stuff like that for all you get. But yeah, is it gonna be as overpowered as the 752? Probably. I don't know. Next do we have another tier 9? And by the looks of it, no. This vehicle, it's already in the game. It is the Udarni. And this vehicle, it's so trollish just because you have only one point over here to penetrate, and that's all. The vehicle has like an IS-7 kind of armor, but down at tier 8, so it's a bit broken. But you have on top of that a small cupola that you can penetrate if you hit, and the gun is fairly trollish. It is like the IS-5 gun, if you ask me. Yet you have 285 on your premium shells, which I think are either hit or actually no, they should be hit. You have kind of enough DPM to defend yourself a gun that is not gonna work at long ranges, so you need to fight close. And you have some mobility for a heavy tank. I mean, you have 45 km top speed with a 30.8, which is very decent. But the main focus, it's the armor of this thing, because I think it's an IS-7 on steroids down at tier 8 with a tier 8 gun. Actually, oh no, I actually have, oh yeah, we have this. So, as you can see, you have around 260 up to 300 on your upper plate, which is really nice. And yeah, that's all about its upper plate. I mean, if you look at the lower plate, you have like 400 over here. I don't know, it says 20 millimeter, probably it's a bug or something. And over here, yeah, I can penetrate this, and cupola is 115, one like this. And this thing is 52, which means you cannot overmatch it with a 155 millimeter gun. And the top of the turret as well, it's an auto ricochet. Now that I realize that I have this, actually no, we are gonna go ahead with our video, and we're gonna come back later with those ones. But the first light tank that is gonna compete with the LT-432 is gonna be the LTS-85, which by the looks of it, it does have still a 300, actually no, it's a 300 alpha damage, so it's pretty much like a medium tank gun, or actually a beefier medium tank gun on a light tank with 250 premium pen, yet very bad accuracy, but good enough like aiming time and probably dispersion as well because it's a light. On top of that, you have 7 degrees of gun depression, which is fine. 12 seconds aiming, actually 12-second reload, so you're hitting pretty much like hitting very hard for a light tank. Yet you look fairly, you look like a Tesla Cybertruck if you ask me. Yet you're very mobile, of almost 30 power to weight ratio and 65 top speed with I guess that's enough for a light tank. Like 15.6 should be on the lower side, yet should be fairly decent. On top of that, 390 meters view range with optics should you get you over. Actually, no, with CVS, a gun rammer, and something else should get you with food and cruise skill should get you up to 445 easily. But yeah, this is gonna be a heavy hitter light tank. This video I actually spotted it on a battlefield and I actually have a video about it. By the looks of it now it's gonna have its statistics at its finest. And the first thing that I'm actually looking forward, and that is the double barrel Soviet tank destroyer, which it has a 390 alpha damage gun with 258 penetration on its standard rounds. That's very good for credit making, and you have 300 APCR, I think, on your premium shells, which is enough if you ask me. Your salvo preparation time is gonna be like either 2 seconds and 1 second cooldown or something like that. But the intra clip reload is gonna be, I think, 7 seconds on, or what is this 7 all about? Time between firing shell and loading, yeah, it's gonna be 7 seconds between the shells. So pretty much you either fire singles with, I mean with a rammer, or do you use rammer? This I don't think you do. With vents, food, and everything, I think you should get the reload down to 7.9 seconds. So pretty much you're either firing singles or doubles, which are fine. Yet what is not fine, 5 degrees of depression. That's gonna be a really joke to this, but the DPM of 2440 is very nice, yet the accuracy and the aiming time are fairly decent for tank destroyer. And 190 on a hull. I mean, if the upper structure is gonna be only 190, that's gonna be very good. But the upper plate being 190, that's gonna be very good. And why I say 190 is not good on this, because the Ferdinand has 200, and it's pretty much butter-like. And as the mobility is fairly decent with 40 top speed and 15 power to weight ratio. So this is gonna be actually the first one that I'm looking for, because it's a meme in itself. And pretty much second to last is the 111 Model 6. This vehicle has been super tested for quite a while, and I don't think it's gonna make it in a game. But you have a 360 alpha damage gun. It's a 105 millimeter. You have 218 pen on standard, and if you low gold, you go up to 290 for a heavy tank. That's actually very good. Yet accuracy it's mediocre, aiming time is mediocre, 0.8 god. 8 degrees of gun depression is gonna be very nice, and considering your turret is 300 millimeters, at least on the cheeks, with shield protection, yeah, this thing is can actually take a beating. And on top of that, I keep forgetting this. Yeah, you have around 200 on your cupola. On top of the upper plate is gonna be around 200, so it's pretty much like the Alpine Tiger model. So yeah, this thing is not gonna really take the most hits into its armor, into its hull at least. So it's the same as the Alpine Tiger in terms of the hit points. 13.8 power to weight ratio, that's fair I guess, and 40 top speed, that's fair as well. Now going back, actually not going back, going forward towards the CS52C. This vehicle was, once again, it's a bit old now, but yeah, don't have the most armor. The turret can take like an occasional ricochet. I mean, that's AP, yeah, that's 120mm AP round with 200 pen, which shouldn't be a problem. Actually hitting this guy, but this guy, what's so special? You actually have like the CS63, you do have a travel mode, and it gets you from 17.76 power to weight ratio with a top speed of 50. It gets you up to, by the looks of it, 28 power to weight ratio with a top speed of 70. So we are losing obviously your camo. You're losing on top of that. You're losing your aiming time. But yeah, do still keep your DPM, 250 alpha damage. That's a bit average. Especially that's a bit low for what is it, for a tier 8 medium, because now the meta tend to shift a bit up. As you saw, the LTS has 300 alpha damage on a light tank, and this thing being only 250. Oh, but yeah, obviously there's DPM disparity. But you have 270 premium pen, which is, well, I think it's enough for a medium, but 208 on standard, that's gonna be a joke. You probably will not really fire that many AP shells. Yet consider this mobility, I think it's gonna be very, very good in terms of in hands of a good player. Now going this way, going back to the SU-122, let's actually look at the armor layout. Oh boy, this is gonna be only 100mm. And this is 75, so with 100 you can actually penetrate this. And the armor, it's gonna be the same as the Ferdinand, 200 on its support structure, which will not be enough. It's gonna be enough versus some tier 7 and some tier 8. Actually, no, some tier 6, some tier 6 and tier 7s, but versus tier 8, yeah, this is gonna be bread and butter. Okay, I'll take back about the SC-122, but obviously because it has such a good gun, you pretty much will be able to, actually snipe. This thing is gonna be an auto penetration on its anything because it's so slow. I was expecting like a miraculously ricochet, but this thing is only 30mm and you cannot really bounce anything. Everything is green by the looks of it. Okay, it's a light tank. It's not gonna be as good as the LT-432. Now about the 7, what is this? 570. Yeah, this thing by the looks of it has the same as a T50, where you can actually side scrape and do all that good stuff. You have around 220 on your turret, around the cheeks. Your cupolas are around 100, and yeah, pretty much like a small silhouette medium tank that they're pretty much versatile and made for support, I guess. But yeah, we need to take a deep look at those vehicles. The K91 is already in the game, and I guess yeah, this thing is like 140, and you only have like around 220 only on your cheeks, and that's all. The cupolas are like pure green, which I guess they're balanced, but yeah, doesn't have the most armor as it's writing on paper, does it? Now that everyone wants the PZ 72. Okay, I'll take that back. This thing is actually gonna be from a higher angle, it's gonna be kind of easy to pen. But if you shoot at those things, which are very well angled, it's gonna ricochet off. The turret looks fairly solid with 400 on the cheeks. That's where the main point is. And the cupolas 140 and 170. Those things are gonna be easy to pen. What about the lower plate? 90mm, yeah, this thing is gonna be easy to penetrate as well, even with some 183mm HE shells. But once you get hull down, the upper plate starts to become with an auto ricochet angle. Actually, over here starts to become auto ricochet, and with heat, it just require good enough penetration, because if you turn it up to 315, as you can see, it's gonna become orange-ish. And if you turn it up to like 230 hit, yes, you can see it's not penetratable. Okay, that's enough about this. Now let's actually take a look at the object 452 and see how is this armor gonna last. So, 120, okay, I'll take that. 250 on that upper, okay, and the lower plate, oh, by the looks of it, the lower plate is gonna be stronger than the upper plate from this, obviously, because you shoot from above, but if you shoot from below, around 240, that's actually very respectable because most of AP rounds are around this. So once you manage to angle it, you actually have like a 50-50 to bounce an AP shell, and you still have like some chance to, obviously, to bait people with your lower plate probably, but keep in mind you don't get shot in the track. But what about the turret? Oh yeah, the turret looks very, very angled, especially versus AP shells. What about hit? I think the higher you have the penetration on a hit, yeah, the higher chance to go in, but still you have a chance to ricochet. And oh boy, you have like literally a pixel of armor. Actually, a pixel of cupola. I think is smaller than on something like a chieftain. So yeah, this thing on a rage line is gonna be a bit tough to take out. Uh, what do you have? 130 and 110 on the side. Okay. Okay, I'll take that. So those are gonna be the 9 upcoming vehicles that actually have statistics in game. And who knows, maybe they're gonna be added in the game. I mean, those two are already in the game. So there are left with only 7 of them that are can come to European servers as well. But let me know what you think, guys, about those vehicles. And if you enjoy the video, let me know. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe and unsubscribe, do what you want. Thank you very much for watching, guys. I'll see you legends around.